Yo, what is up, headhunters and executive recruiters in hashtag the Herc? So I am walking out of the mall right now, doing some shopping for Lisa. Birthday. Pretty cool. Anyway, and it's also when she kind of gives you a list of shit that she likes. I mentioned I would go live today to talk about a question that Sam Reed had posted in the group about business development. So what happened was basically Sam had, let me get somewhere. Let me go over here. So basically Sam had posted a question on, okay, so he reached out to her manager via email, I guess, and a couple days later he got the polite brush off from HR. So I guess the hiring manager forwarded the email to HR, and HR said, hey, thanks, but no thanks. Basically said, hey, we're happy with the resumes we have. Currently people in process over the weekend or whatever. We currently do use staffing firms, and we'll let you know if we do need your services. Basically polite brush off, right? So here is the way I look at biz dev when you're a newbie. And here's my suggestion. Now, I will say that some of the suggestions in the thread were good, right? I mean, you know, there's lots of different ways to skin a cat, right? There's no, like, right or wrong answer necessarily. I mean, there's a framework, right? And I'll teach you the framework in a second. But there's no, like, you know, right or wrong script necessarily. You can go with an NPC, for example. But, you know, I saw some of the comments, but, well, you know, find someone who appreciates you. Well, that's easier said than done, you know, because if you're a newbie, you got nothing. There's nothing differentiating you from, you know, Joe Blow down the street who probably has a better script, you know, and a nicer website, maybe works for Robert Half, has a better name, you know, so you don't have a lot really going for you. So it's kind of like, the way I look at it, especially when you're a newbie, is business development is a lot like selling vacuum cleaners door to door, okay? In that, for the most part, vacuum cleaners are all the same. I mean, there's Dysons and there's really good ones, but at the end of the day, you know, for most households, a vacuum cleaner is a vacuum cleaner is a vacuum cleaner, right? Every house needs a vacuum cleaner, but beyond that, beyond having a vacuum cleaner, you don't give a shit like what kind it is necessarily, right? So back in the day, we had door-to-door vacuum cleaner salesmen. And what most recruiters do, okay, new recruiters, when they're, you know, emailing and calling and doing whatever it is they're doing, their business development outreach, you know, they're saying the same things every other search firm says. So every search firm says the same things. We specialize in filling the tough positions. We're specialists. We've got a proprietary process. We have 10 years combined. We have 20 years combined experience because we have 20 first-year recruiters. 20 combined years experience. I always hate that. But it's always the same thing. And the pitch is always saying, hey, just want to see, don't know if it's a fit, but wanted to see if it might potentially make sense to work together, blah, 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 right? If we can help with this position, you know. And so a great way to differentiate yourself, obviously, is an NPC, right? And that's a great way to differentiate yourself. So it's not bad at all. I was never like a big NPC guy personally, but it's a very effective way to market. Okay, but for this particular situation, what most recruiters do, right? They're going out there saying the same message to everybody else. It's the equivalent of going door to door, knocking, say, hey, do you need a vacuum cleaner? Nope, okay. You need a vacuum cleaner? Nope, okay. Hey, you need a vacuum cleaner? Nope, okay. Hey, you need a vacuum cleaner? Nope, okay. You'll sell vacuum cleaners. You have to knock on a lot of fucking doors. And you'll happen to find somebody who happens to be in need of a vacuum cleaner. You're like, oh shit, yeah, I need a vacuum cleaner. Okay, and then you can sell them a vacuum cleaner. That's the same as the one that broke the week before, you know? It's kind of that same sort of concept. So what the great vacuum cleaner salesman did was first they made sure they had a kick-ass vacuum cleaner, right? That was probably more expensive, but it was just like 10 times better. It might be twice as expensive as the other model, but was 10 times more effective, okay? So what they would do, first they have to make sure their foundation's good. They've got a great product, and then they do whatever they could do to make sure they could demonstrate that product. Put their foot in the door, sprinkle some dirt down and say, oh, sure, let me get that for you, or whatever. And again, I'm not a vacuum cleaner salesman, so I can't really give you an example, but you get my point, right? Demonstration of your product. Because right now, as a newbie, I'm assuming, Sam, you're a newbie. If you're not, I apologize. But if you're a newbie, and you kind of, they're saying the same things as everybody else, which you likely are, which is okay, it's look like you got to start somewhere, right? You got to figure out a way to differentiate yourself. Being a specialist ain't gonna do it, but and having 20 years combined experience, or even if you use the company name, Robert Half, and there's a Detco, and there's K-Force, there's Manpower, there's just tons of big names. So even that really is nothing differentiating. It's all commodity shit. So what can you do to really separate yourself out and to demonstrate your product to them, okay? So your product is this. Yes, you can go find candidates, that's right. But if you can't, and an NPC is a good way to demonstrate the product, to be fair, it is. But I've had a lot of success with this other way of demonstrating the product. So my goal, or your goal should be, in making these sales calls, you want to get into sales meetings, okay? A sales meeting is not somebody happens to pick up, it's a live call, and they say, well, yeah, we kind of have a couple needs, but check back with us next week, and we'll see, if we may need you then, I don't know. That's not really a sales meeting, okay? A sales meeting is where you meet with somebody, over the phone or in person or what have you, but for a decent length of time, maybe 10, 15 minutes, or longer, maybe, and do a needs analysis, right? And really root out the pain that they're in, the problems that are affecting the business, the challenges that they're facing, and highlight the vision, like what they want in their business, right? What would it look like? Like a wave of magic wand, hire the perfect person, and show them how they can do it. So imagine as a recruiter, instead of just being a candidate broker, go and study Recruit Rockstars, Hiring Greatness by David Perry, another great book. Go find out how to, or take my course, whatever, it's all good. Mine's good, but but find out how to create scorecards. Find out how to conduct working interviews, which is one of the best ways to assess candidates. Bar none, one of the best ways to assess candidates is a working interview, okay? Most hiring managers don't do it. They're not very good at interviewing, right? They're not good at finding candidates. They're not good at finding passive candidates. We all know the passive candidates typically are the ones that are top performers. Usually, most top performers live in the passive candidate marketplace. When they're posting job postings online, and all other firms are doing the exact same thing, they're just copy pasting the job posting and redacting the client name. They're not hiring the best people. Okay, so what could you do to set a sales meeting and go in and demonstrate your product? And here's how. Okay. So what I would do is when you get that email from HR, call the hiring manager, leave a message, or don't just email, call, okay? Make the call. If you get them live, great, but usually you'll get a voicemail. Hey, Bob, this is David Patterson with the SAPrecruiter.com. Hey, I appreciate you sending that note to Barbara. But with that said, I'm calling because I help my clients hire the top 10% of talent out there, of performers, directly from their competitors. But why I'm calling you though today is I'd like to get about 5, maybe 10 minutes of your time. You don't need to engage me on a search, but I want to share with you a couple strategies on how you can, by this time next week, almost guarantee you'll have 5 top performers in front of you ready to interview for this position so you can fill it and get this thing off your plate and get back to work. And again, no need to engage me in a search. I just want to share the strategy with you. Let's set up a time. Something like that, right? You don't have to use that exact wording, but the framework is important, right? Calling, hey, I appreciate you sending that note to Barbara, right? I'm referencing that I'm letting him know, hey, I know you sent the note to Barbara. I appreciate it. Anyway, the reason why I'm calling is because then whatever your elevator pitch is, we help our clients hire the top 10%, consistently hire the top 10% of talent directly from their competitors each and every time. But I'm calling because, right, that's your elevator pitch. Now here's the reason. Now I'm calling because I'd like to get 5 minutes of your time, not to engage us in a search, but I just want to share with you a couple of strategies on how you can blank, right? And to solve, and what's their pain right now? Well, for a hiring manager, they're not recruiters. Hiring is a pain in the ass. Recruiting is a pain in the ass. They don't want to worry about having to hire for this position and to interview. They don't have time to interview, and they gotta to do that. So, hey, I can help you, right, with a strategy. So you can have 5 people in front of you by next week, ready to interview, top performers, so you can get this position off your plate and get back to work. Again, no need to engage me in a search. You're taking the pressure off, because what happens when they set up a meeting, the reason why they're not setting up a meeting is because they don't want to be pitched. Hey, I'd like to touch base and talk to you for a few minutes to see if it might potentially make sense to work together. Because what most recruiters do, right? From the client perspective, what do they hear? Hey, I'd like to take about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even 15, 20 minutes of your time that you probably don't have, and pitch my services, which is really the same service that everybody else offers, but I want to pitch my services because I need to get a job order up on the board so I can pay my mortgage or whatever, right? That's what they hear. They're not interested. There's no hook, right? So call the hiring manager back. You know, nothing says you can't. Just because you get no from HR, oh well, call hiring manager. If what you have is compelling, you can hook them, right? The hiring manager gets 10 of these emails a day or whatever, and they're all the same. No matter how good you think it is, you know, it's the same as everybody else's. So what does he do? Just pass off to HR. Hey, take care of it. I'm not, just whatever. To give the brush off, okay? So if you call, and for most hiring managers, it works. It works very effectively. They do the brush off to HR. HR does their little thing and sends the note to you or to whoever. And then what does the recruiter do? I don't want to respond back to hiring manager. Obviously, this is an HR deal. Okay. Hey, no problem, Barbara. I appreciate your time. If you need any help, let me know. We're here to help you at any. Okay. And then of course. All 10 recruiters that HR person sent that email to, you sent the exact same email back, and there's nothing differentiating, okay? And those recruiters aren't calling the hiring manager. So you're going to be different, okay? Now, granted, you might break a couple eggs. Oh, well, okay? Call the hiring manager. You leave your message, and it's an email. Hey, Bob, Sam Reed with XYZ search firm. I appreciate the note that you sent to Barbara. I'm calling because I help my clients hire top 10% of talent consistently, almost every single time, from their competitors. Okay, that no one says that, by the way. That's a great elevator pitch. Now I'm calling because I want to get about 5 minutes of your time, very briefly, not to engage in a search. Don't worry about that. But I want to share with you strategy on how you can solve pain and get this position off your plate, achieve vision. Okay, and again, no need to engage me in a search. Taking the pressure off, right? Taking the pressure off. Now, when you get on the phone, right, sincerely try to help them out. Give them a couple strategies they can use, and talk to them. Hey, what's broken in your process? Are you hiring top performers? Have you had mishires? Why? Why is that? Oh, well, no need to engage us in a search, sure, but you're really going to pitch. You're going to say, well, Bob, this really wasn't meant to be a sales call, but looks like you have a broken process here, or looks like this is happening here. If we can help you solve that, would it make sense to talk about it? We have a process that actually helps with A, B, C, D, and it's had a lot of success here with these other clients. With this company, that company. Would it make sense to talk about it? They're usually going to say yes. Yeah, it makes sense. You're not asking them, will you use me? No. It's a very soft close. Hey, would it make sense to talk about solving your pain? Sure. Okay, and then go from there. So that's what I would do. Call a hiring manager back, be different, and offer something of value, right? Be the vacuum cleaner door-to-door salesman who, instead of just knocking on doors, hey, need a vacuum cleaner, need a vacuum cleaner, need a vacuum cleaner, and open, you find somebody who happens to have a need, because again, that's what recruiters do. You call, and you happen to catch somebody like, yeah, actually, I do need help. I'm pissed off my other recruiter. Can you help me? That's kind of the equivalent, right? So the great door-to-door salesman will find a way to demonstrate. First, they make sure that their product was great, had a fantastic product that once it was demonstrated, it was obvious it was 10 times better than anybody else's, okay? And they find a way to demonstrate it. Make sure your product is better than everybody else's. And if you're a candidate broker, if all you're doing is kind of flipping resumes like most recruiters do, go and study the greats. David Perry, great. Jeff Hyman, Recruit Rockstars. Go study what it takes to hire top performers and then offer to share that knowledge, okay? Now, when you're more established, you probably won't need to do this as much, okay? You probably won't have time. But when you're a newbie recruiter and all you got is time, and you're competing with all the other newbie recruiters, that is one of the best ways to actually differentiate yourself, get on their radar screen, and actually show some value and show how good your product is and how you can help. But again, taking that pressure off. It's a classic open loop, right? You're teasing them with knowledge, right? It's a knowledge tease. You're hooking them in, and then you are taking the pressure off. Hey, no need to engage me in a search. Okay? Try that consistently, and I guarantee you'll see some really good results. Let's see if we have any questions here. I've got one. Ooh, let's see, Michael Dubé. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Good stuff. If I'm a hiring manager, I have to ask, how do you know you're hiring the top 10% of talent consistently? How do I know? From my clients. Here's exactly. Okay, if you ever ask this question, here's exactly how we know. Okay. See, what most recruiters do, they take the job description, right, with all the keywords, and I need 10 years, like I say, we'll use in my promise, right? 10 years SAP implementation experience, FICO. 3 full life cycle implementations. Like all the different bing, right? So I go to the market and I look for candidates with, okay, they go, 10 years, got this, okay, great. He fits the requirement, send it, okay? What you should be doing is, at the beginning of a search on our discovery call, we're actually creating a performance profile. I want to find out in 12 months or 18 months, what would unqualified success be, right? Like, when you look back at this candidate, say this was an unqualified success, which isn't normal. Most hires are not successes. They're average at best, right? Many are mishires. So what would be like true success? What are the numbers? Great. Now, we're going to go recruit on that, right? Now, they're usually not on job boards. We have to go out and recruit passive candidates because those people typically don't need to look for a job. They're well paid, Maybe there's like a life event. They're relocating somewhere, sure, right? But for the most part, if you're a salesman and you're killing it, and you're blowing quota out every quarter, and you're President's Club and you're banking, are you looking for a job? No, you're probably not. But is that the kind of candidate? Is that the top 10%? Yes. So can you go out there and actively recruit them and at least intrigue them enough into a 5-minute conversation, talk about this client, hey, and like no obligation, let's go talk to my client, see if it might make sense. It may actually get you those things that maybe you're not seeing in your current job, right? And then once they're hired, we know they're the top 10% from the numbers. That's validated, right? We're going after passive candidates. We're validating them, and then we're tracking them after the hire. And consistently, we're seeing 2 years, 3 years, 4 years retention. They're hitting their performance profiles, right? They're hitting their numbers. So, not so many words, but that's kind of how we know. Because most recruiters say, we hire the top 10%, and that's great, but you just say that. But at the end of the day, what you do is you take the job description, you take the resume, you match the requirements up, and hey, the candidate talked a good game, must be good, send them in. Not that you do, but just kind of general, most recruiters do that. So when we break it down to a more scientific process, that's how we know we can hire the top 10% consistently. And remember, I also said from competitors, right? I specifically say that because I want them to know I'm going into the passive candidate marketplace. I'm pulling people directly from the companies that they compete against. So hopefully that makes sense. Paul, I really enjoyed this post. So many great tips and tricks from a sales perspective specific to what I need to do. What is up, Paul? Thank you very much. What is up, Kim? Yeah, Kim, I got your message. I've got to respond back. I've been so backed up. I will respond back. Appreciate your message. What is up, Greg, my man, Michelle Heck, Jeremy Sizemore. Hey, what's up, Jeremy? Ryan Schumacher. Ooh, sweet. All right, guys, that is about it. James, anybody else have any questions? That is that. All right, thank you, everybody. Much appreciated. One last thing as well. I mentioned this a few days ago, but I am speaking at ORA, the Ohio Recruiters Association, and it's one of the more active state recruiter associations. I'm not just speaking. I'm doing an all-day event with 5 sessions. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, I'll post a link probably tomorrow or Monday. And although I did go live a few days ago with the 5 topics, we cover, there's a workshop on creating a higher level offer, and I've got some script stuff in there, the buyer's journey. Go watch the video, and I go over specifically what we're talking about. And hope you guys can attend. Kara, happy Saturday. Hey, happy Saturday, Kara. All right, I guess that is it, guys. I got to go home. We are going to a birthday dinner. We're going to go hibachi dinner with Elisa for her birthday dinner with her family. So that's why I'm here at the mall buying Tiffany's, and that's the mall, and that's the loot. So anyway, guys, I gotta go. Elisa home waiting for me with the baby. Talk to you later. Peace out.